Why, hello. I really enjoyed your thoughts in your responses yesterday. It was nice to see just some open ended thoughts of what you think might happen in the story, what you're wondering about, where you think it's going. It was cool stuff. So, um, yesterday we read that Ghost had his first practice in his new but stolen shoes. And it wasn't a sprinting practice, this was one of their long runs where they run for miles and miles, and Coach drives behind them, honking the horn and yelling at them from a megaphone. Oof. But Ghost kept going, he didn't give up. And at the end, even Lou gave him a compliment. And in the response a few days ago, where I asked you guys, to give one word to describe characters, a lot of you chose Lou, and a lot of you said things like mean and selfish, which I agreed with. But I'm wondering if those opinions are starting to get like, if that opinion of him will stick. Let's see. At home, me and Ma had my favorite for dinner, Salisbury steak. Every time she brought it home, all I could think about was how lucky the people in the hospital were that they could get that for dinner. Salisbury steak is amazing. I don't know what exactly Salisbury is, but whatever it is, it's delicious. So you liking track? Ma asked, heating the food up. Yeah, it's cool. It's crazy hard, but it's cool. And what about the coach? She asked. How's he? I like him, I said, plain unsure of what she was getting at. Like I said, moms never trust people around their kids. Never, ever. And Coach had just left after asking my mom if I could go to the newbie dinner. And she said I could, but the smell of Salisbury might have changed her mind just that quick. I don't know why I would have, but who really understands moms? You know what, she said, popping open the microwave when it dinged. She flashed a smile at me. I like him too. Phew. The homework Ma was avoiding tonight was all about how to draw blood. They call it phlebotomy. And the movie of the night was Love Jones, which we've seen a bazillion times, but my Ma loves it. It's about this photographer lady and this dude who writes poems, and they like each other, then they hate each other, then they love each other, and then it's over. Or something like that. I never really pay much attention. I just flip through my world records book and spout out different facts. Hey, Mom, there's this dude named Tommy something. I couldn't pronounce his last name. He holds a world record for pulling the most nails out of a piece of wood with his teeth. My mother, sitting with the nursing textbook open on her lap, just shushed me and kept on watching. Shh. And, Ma, there's this other guy, I continued, even though I knew she didn't want to hear it. Most of the time, I just like to mess with her. His name is Wim Hof. What a name, right? Yikes, Wim Hof. Anyway, he got the record for the most amount of time spent in ice. In ice? My mother asked. Must have caught her at a boring part in the movie. Yep, in it. 1 hour and 53 minutes. People crazy, she said, shaking her head. Then she held her hand out in front of me to let me know the boring part of her movie was now over. It was time for her to resume fanning the tears back every 5 minutes. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, Ma, have you ever heard of Usain Bolt? I asked her. He holds the record for being the fastest man. Cass, come on now, she begged. They getting ready to fall in love again. You know this is my favorite part. I just shook my head and kept on flipping. The good thing was she didn't ask me about my new fancy shoes, but that's because she didn't know about them. I changed them in Coach's cab on the way home from practice. Coach, on the other hand, on our way back from practice, definitely asked about them. Where'd you get them? That's all I want to know, Coach said. This came after he told me that he was proud of me for not quitting today. I told him that I had no idea why he loved to torture children so much. Do you grill all the kids on the team like this? Just me? I replied, snappy. Just you. He slapped my arm. I told him that my mother had gotten them for me as a way to encourage me to do the right thing and stay out of trouble. Just saying it turned my stomach, because here I was, a boy who was suspended for busting somebody in the face at school one day and skipped half the day the next because I was laughed at. Then I swiped shoes. Ugh, I clearly wasn't staying out of trouble. Matter of fact, I was knee-deep in it. Oh, okay, Coach said, but I could tell he didn't believe me. I wouldn't have. He could probably see it on my face, especially since, just like him, I didn't have no hair on it to disguise it either. And honestly, yes, honestly, I couldn't even believe that I had just lied like that. See, I wasn't really the lying type, but I also wasn't the stealing type until a few hours ago. Altercations, altercations, altercations. Okay, for today's response, we are going to try something a little different. We're going to do a Google form with 3 questions that are just asking for your opinions. And I'm just curious what you're thinking, and I'm going to take the results and read them before Wednesday's read aloud. So the 3 questions are, what should Ghost do about the shoes? Which word best describes Ghost? Which member of the track team do you think Ghost will most likely become friends with? And then I'm going to add an optional, like, what else would you like to say about this chapter? You don't have to write anything, but you can. And I'm going to share all of these responses in before tomorrow's read aloud. It'll just be cool to see your differences and opinions and get like a visual graph of where you guys are. Okay, enjoy.